100% healthy.
What is up, my frozen friends? The Sports and Chad Benson Show is powered by NCAA National Certified Alarms. No long-term contracts. License number 645. Cold AF, as the kids would say. Ken, cold AF.
Yeah, what's AF stand for?
As
fiddlesticks.
As a fiddly stick as it gets, as a fudging as it gets, man. Fudging A.
Yeah, there you go.
It is cold. It is freezing. It is weather-geddon. It is
You guys
snowpocalypse.
need to leave the potty mouth to me.
You know what? Settle down. Now it's time for the Weather Wizard Snowpocalypse 2026 update.
Tell us about the snow, Ken. Yeah.
All right, Ken. Cold. Nasty.
Yeah. Yes.
I will tell you. What are we at? About 200,000 people power out?
Yeah, still at least 200,000 people without power. That's across, the major utilities here in Middle Tennessee. Of course, the vast majority of that is 173,000 for Nashville Electric Service, which says this is going to be a prolonged event, meaning some people could be without power for days.
Yeah.
One of the things that they were running into, and this isn't just Nashville Electric Service. I was watching one of the updates last night. Chris Jones with Middle Tennessee Electric. By the way, Middle Tennessee Electric still has 8,000 outages they're trying to restore. But what was happening is a crew would finish repairing a line. They would pack up, be ready to move to the next job. And then in their rearview mirror, they're watching as another limb comes down and wrecks what they had just repaired. So there was a lot of having to making the repair and then just having to turn right back around and go back and repair what they had just fixed.
It was so our power went off. We didn't get it back until the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter of the Denver game.
Mm-hmm.
When our power went off, our house was about 68 degrees.
Yeah.
We were down about 53 degrees. Charlie and I have like 9 blankets on the couch, right? Because she snuggled up next to me. She's playing video games because we have our battery banks and stuff like that. And and it was freezing. And she came in, and I got up at like 3 or 4 in the morning because she came in our bed because once the power went off, the Embassy Suites next to us fired up what I thought was a generator, but then I'm starting to think it maybe was a 747. And on top of that, the smell was like I was on a runway with jet fuel.
Okay, that's concerning.
Yeah, that's what I was telling them. Because it was so loud and they were firing. But it came on, like our power came on for like 5 minutes and went off. Then another 5 minutes and went off. Then it finally came on. But I had no idea for how long. We kept waiting for it to go off. It was like, okay, it's going to go off in any moment. It's going to go off on any moment. And then finally, boom, it stayed on. And I had to get up extra early. I recorded my show early today. So because the people that were there couldn't, they had to have it early today for my national show because they couldn't get in to their place in D.C. as well. And it's nature, guys. I talk about it messing you up. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It's serious. Yeah. It's some serious stuff.
It's like Blue Oyster Cult says in Godzilla, nature points out the folly of man.
Yes.
History shows again and again how nature points out the folly of man.
Yeah. And
I mean, here we are, in this day and age, and, we had all the warning. I think the fact that we were warning everybody about this, at the start of last week, I think was very helpful because once that rain started falling early yesterday morning, I knew right then, I thought, okay, this is going to get really bad. And it did.
It did. I mean, it is, the walk in. So I walked today and staff's like, you ain't put pants on. I'm like, whatever. I got 2 pairs on, though. I have some long johns. If I'm wearing pants, I'm wearing pants. So I got these, the stuff normally I play pickleball in it when it's really hot so I don't get super sunburned. And
right.
it was super slippery, right? Once you in anywhere it was kind of dark. The sun, though, was shining on like parts of the building, and big pieces of chunks of ice were falling. So I had to, and I was talking to our boss, Paul, here, both of us, we were because he walked in. You have to walk in the middle of the street because all of the trees have collapsed everywhere.
Yeah.
And they got the icicles on them.
Yeah, that is one thing you definitely need to keep in mind. Everybody in downtown Nashville, especially with everything overhead, you've got to be very, very careful. It's especially, you don't even notice it, until we get weather like this, but you've got power lines that are over roads. And if you look up there with the sun like it is now, strangely enough, the sun is actually melting some of this ice. Just the rays itself will melt, even in extremely cold temperatures like we have right now. And that's what forms those massive icicles. And I tell you what, brother, they hit you, they'll kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So keep an eye above if you're walking around downtown, definitely.
I was surprised about how bad the icicles were, because we were talking to the other guy, Travis, one of the big guys that works here, who does the country stuff, and he says, talk about Colorado. My wife was talking about, she grew up there. She goes, we don't get the icicles. Like, they don't get them because they have the snow and stuff, but they don't get the icicles. Like, he was like, I was fascinated by that. I'm like, yeah, in England, we got very few of this in the real cold winter. We would get the rain and it would turn to ice on the ground. We never got the icicles like this where it's dangling. And it's beautiful. I mean, some of it is gorgeous, but the roundabout, the trees on the little park over there, all of them in some way, shape, or form are damaged or down.
Right. Yeah, speaking of trees, in my neighborhood, across the way, we have a row of townhomes across from us, and behind them is a greenway. And it's beautiful, just huge, beautiful trees. But today, those trees are leaning. And I keep kind of measuring with my eye, okay, if that tree was to fall this direction, could it reach me, or would my neighbor across the street actually stop it? I'm not hoping that it happens, but it is definitely I remember the last ice storm we had like this. That was something that I was really concerned about, looking at those big old beautiful trees, because while it is pretty with the inch of ice on those limbs, man, my fingers are crossed that they're going to hold up.
Yeah. And then poor Bell.
Yeah, Brother Bilal, man.
I have both a tree and a live power line
Let's
on
hear
my
for
car.
Bell came in via Uber.
Yeah.
Way to go, Brother Bilal.
Yeah, our power was out, and I took a nap, and when I woke back up, it was on, and I'm thinking, oh, great, the car's free. So I go out and look out the kitchen window. The power line is still down, only the power is now on, and I still can't get into my car because the power line's laying on it.
Which I find fascinating, that the power line is laying on your car. What if the only way they could keep power on for the whole neighborhood now is if it lives on your car?
Sorry, the rest of the neighborhood's not my problem. I don't understand why they would turn the power on, though, but not lift the power line off of the ground where it's not reachable.
Yeah, I find that bizarre.
Right.
I find that so...
You might ought to send them a note, Brother Bilal. They may not even know about it.
Yeah.
Well, they have to know about it if they came out to fix the power. Plus, I called 911 to tell them.
I would think so. Yeah, that's definitely an emergency, a power line, a live line on the ground. That is a 911 type call right there.
That is,
yes.
Especially when it's on your car and you have to go in. And send them a bill for your trip.
Big Boss has already told me he reimbursed me for it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I think Dan's here. Dan's across the street. I think he's staying at a hotel.
Yeah, Dan says he's going to stay one more night.
Yeah. Dan and he goes, dude, he and I were texting yesterday morning. He goes, do you have a weird feeling it could just be the two of us this way? I said, there's a chance. But we were texting back and forth with Matt. Matt's like, if I have to go out to my car on my phone, hanging upside down, I'm going to do this. And then he said, no,
Matt, man,
he's driving in.
Yeah.
And he's picking up Jackson.
He's driving in.
He's picking up Jackson, too, because Jackson's like, I can't get in. And Matt's like, I'll get him. So I'm like, nice. But
yeah.
It's scary, dude. It's like when you think about like the ice, because I'm watching people yesterday. I was surprised how many people were on the road driving by. I was like, man, that's a lot of people out there. But today, I think, is worse as far as the ice goes. Yesterday was cold and freezing. I think the day, as far as the ice, where you could see the ice, because a lot of the salt has gone away. You know, that's the other thing. I've seen nobody salt anything outside of a little bit the first day on Friday.
And the issue with that is it is so cold. If it gets to a certain degree, it won't work. Salt and the brine, it just won't work. When it's in the teens, that it just does not matter. And what's so dangerous about getting on the interstate, you look at, I mean, I almost fell victim to it. I almost thought about driving in. I thought about driving in this morning because I'm looking at the TDOT cameras and I'm thinking, well, there's a couple of lanes open and, they look pretty clear. But what gets people are the on and off ramps. Yes. To get off of the interstate, you've got to start hitting your brakes. And that's when everything goes awry.
And that's exactly when everything goes awry. And even today, I told my wife, when I got here, I was like, I'm surprised how many people are out there on the road because it's pretty slippery, a lot of these places. Here's something else, though. Check this out. Saturday morning, Ken, across the street from our house, we hear, there's dudes drifting in the snow in their car 100 miles an hour. Going in circles, doing donuts. Because it wasn't ice yet, so they were donutted up.
Right. Yeah. The beautiful snow here in Murfreesboro, the beautiful snow was beautiful snow for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then that's whenever the icing started.
Yeah.
And now it's just ice.
How long did little Fritz wait to go outside?
Fritz I got Fritz to actually go. He actually completed both of his tasks for one trip. But that was, I can't remember what time it was yesterday. He is working on his record now of waiting 27 hours before he actually goes.
Whoa, it's going for it.
It's been, I want to say, it was like yesterday evening at 4:30 he went. That is the last time he has gone. Ooh. I took him out this morning to try, and little fella he is just not having it.
I on TikTok yesterday. I'm watching people try to get their dogs to go outside and go to the bathroom in the snow, and they would not do it. They're like, nah, I'm going to pee here in the kitchen. We'll be good. You can clean it up.
Especially little fellas.
Yes, especially little fellas. Our dogs. My dogs got all the way to the. We walk into the garage and you have to go down the stairs to get to the little. They have a little dog park, and It's covered in ice. They stood out front of the dog park when I opened the fence, and they just peed right there and turned around and ran back up the stairs. They wanted zero part of the cold.
Well, and what's frustrating about Fritz is I put down a big old beach towel we have. I put it down so he would have like a square of grass, to go in. He's not even paying attention to it. I don't know what it is about this dog. He thinks he's got to walk. He's so used to going on walks is what it is. Yeah. And he's afraid I'm going to cut that time short. Well, now he doesn't care if I cut the time short. He just wants to come right back in immediately.
It's going to be cool for the next few days. We're going to have all the latest up there. And, of course, you've got us covered because we got that big, that jackknife truck that smashed into the overpass? Or the
smashed
signs?
Into the TDOT sign, and the TDOT sign came down on top of the truck. I don't think the truck driver was hurt. But that's going to be there for a while, man. I mean, if you I'm looking at the map right now. 65 northbound is backed up from 440 all the way to Brentwood.
Oh, good God. And that kind of thing in cold weather with black ice that you never know where you're going to show it up at. No,
sir.
No, sir.
Black ice. That's the danger.
That is the danger. Got a lot of other stuff. Obviously, Minnesota, because you've already seen this breaking news, but it looks like Trump is going to be pulling a vast majority of the officers and agents out of there. He and Walz have been talking all day today. My source that I've talked to over the weekend said, let's just say Trump was beyond pissed at what happened the other day because he realizes this does not reflect well on everything. So we'll talk a bit about that. Super Bowl, pumped about that. We kind of got it right. We kind of got it wrong, Ken.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
we did.
You're right. It was a hell of a game. Talk a bit about that. And then Kanye with a full-page Wall Street Journal apology. It is insane. Well, you know what? It's Kanye. I mean, that's all you got to say every once in a while.
So he's come down from his manic.
Yeah, and he talks about it, too. Full, I'm sorry. I was crazy. I don't think you guys realize how crazy I am. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, we know Kanye.
Yeah, Kanye,
But is he giving refunds on the swastika shirts?
No. He did say they are, discontinued. So there you go. Yeah, he said he lost touch with reality. We'll read some of it. It's a trip. It's Kanye. He does Kanye stuff, and this is one of them for sure. All that and so much more today. Hope you guys are doing well. Reach out to us across all of our social media. Obviously, Ken's. What have we called your place, Ken? Have you come up with a name?
I haven't come up with a name for my place. I call it where I'm at is I'm in a little breakfast nook of my kitchen. Oh. It's just kind of a little place where you can put a little table.
Little table.
For a little fella.
That's right.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. How about Kentucky? I love that. So, So I'm the one that came in. Marfalago, apparently he'll be here. I don't know when he left. Maybe it left several hours ago. He took out the mushing dogs, and then he comes. So pretty excited about this. And by the way, guys, if you want to know what Greenland's like, it's not like this. All right?
No.
Greenland's warmer today. Just put that out there.
Amazing.
All that,
May
so
with his
much
hands
more
under
straight ahead.
center, drops
Happy
to his
Frozen
knee,
Monday.
and
It is
that's
Chad Benson,
it.
Super Talk
The New
997.
England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. The Patriots win the AFC Championship, beating the Denver Broncos 10-7, and a new era of Patriots football is upon us.
That's right. Drake May leading the Patriots back. They beat the Bo Nix-less, Broncos. It was I saw some of the highlights, but I saw the final quarter. Each team had to play the other team, then they had to play the elements. And the elements were awful. But the guy that made the difference wasn't even on the roster yesterday morning. They woke up and added him from the practice squad. He happened to travel with him. He was the one who blocked the field goal, got his fingertips on it, tipped it wide with 5 minutes left, and the Broncos never had a chance after that. So good for him. Good for them. They're on their way. Then last night's game. Oh, what a game it was. Amazing.
Desperation for Stafford. 8 seconds left. Loading up near side Nakua. Is he out of bounds?
Oh, my God.
With 3 seconds. They're going to run the clock. That's going to do it. The Seahawks soar to Super Bowl 60.
That's right. They're on their way. So you got the teams. You got the Seahawks, whose defense is a beast. And then you've got an all-around good team in the Patriots. I think right now the Hawks are favorite. But I got to tell you, they're the youngest team, the Seahawks. Sam Darnold is playing out of his mind. And that defense is incredible. And defense wins championships. But on the other side of it, you got the Patriots. You got Vrabel. How many texts I get going, I hope Vrabel wins one just to show the Titans what they missed out on. Yeah, well, I mean, he's got a chance now. There's no doubt. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's 2 weeks. We're going to talk a little bit later because Trump's not going because they didn't have Lee Greenwood singing the whole thing. Just singing Proud to be an American for 17 minutes at halftime. So we'll talk about Minnesota, what's going on there. If you guys heard, looks like they're going to be pulling some, if not all, of the agents out of Minneapolis. It was a nightmare weekend, to say the least. I think the way that it was handled, in particular by a few of the people, has not been good. Trump is not happy about it, hence the reason why Tom Homan's going there. We're going to talk about that, among other things. We also got to have the latest on what's going on, because it's cold outside, if you're not paying attention. And you should be, because it's cold outside. You missed any show, shame when you got the podcast. All that, so much more, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. We're monitoring stuff. If you guys are wondering what's going on with the YouTube and everything, remember, Ken is out at the, what'd you call it, Bill? What was his studio's name?
Kentucky.
He's out in Kentucky, in Weaver's Waffle House, broadcasting live in his nook as we are throughout the day. You guys can notice some stuff because people aren't here. They are here. We made it in because I walked because I braved I don't know how many steps it is. I did it one day. It's not that many. My buddy goes, how long of a walk is it? I'm like, dude, you don't want to know. He goes, like 2 miles. I said, honestly, it's maybe 2 blocks. Maybe. It's such a short walk that it won't even register on my little Fitbit thing that says I'm doing something motion-wise. That's how short it is. So, but we're going to be monitoring what's going on. Obviously, this weekend was not a good weekend. Trump is not thrilled. People I talk to who are in and around, they're pissed. That's why Tom Homan's going out there because they've jacked the pooch. 2 people dead, and this one, it is not a good look. They get and then coming out and saying he had a gun, he was locked and loaded, kind of thing. Bovino and Noam, and he was heading. None of that was true. Did he have a gun? Yeah, absolutely, and he had a right to have a gun. Right? If you believe in the Second Amendment, you have every right to have a gun. 100%. 100%. He has every right to have a gun. Kash Patel and them saying, you shouldn't bring this. No, sorry, it's not the way that works. We live in a free country, and many of you out there who fight for the Second Amendment, believe in the Second Amendment, damn Skippy, he has every right to have a gun. Now, in saying it, you have a chaotic situation, people screaming and yelling. That guy's screaming, thinking he's going to die and saying he's going to die, telling people, put your cameras down and help me. They're going to kill me. And while all of that is happening, you've got several other people that are around him fighting with him. And somebody, I guess it's a Border Patrol agent, I don't know who it is, shoots and kills him. After, by all accounts, the gun was in one of the other agents' hands. And again, it's a crazy situation. You have a split second, but it doesn't look good. And you can say everything you want about, no, it doesn't look good. You have every right to be peacefully protest. You have every right to be loud and obnoxious. You have every right to do certain things. Was he stopping anybody? No, by all accounts, he was. And actually, there's other videos where he and a few of the officers were just having a chat. Like a conversation that was caught and that was well before this, where they were just having a chat. Went over there, looked to get and help 2 women that had been sprayed by pepper spray, and one of them tossed down. And it's a bad situation, but even if you're like, they had every right to do what they did, the look, okay? The look of, hey, guess what? You're starting to lose people. They're getting a little perturbed. And remember, you could want them to throw everybody out and do it as hard and as mean as possible. You're just one voter. Independents dominant when it comes to the voting world right now. Many people have fled the left and the right. And while they still may vote left and right, the reality is they're not happy with this. And Trump recognizes that. He also recognizes this isn't a good look just for the way it's being handled. And so he and Walz talked today, but it's just not them. I mean, there's several congressmen, several senators on the right that have said, whoa, no. And they're not happy. And Trump realizes, okay, this is becoming a bad situation. So you send Tom Homan in there, somebody who, look, he's not smooth, right? He's not going to teach you how to Dougie, but he's serious. And he's going to come in, and I think he's going to calm some stuff down a little bit.
At least 20 Republican members of Congress have now called for an investigation of the shooting, and many have called for hearings on Capitol Hill. The chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, Republican Andrew Garabino of New York, says he expects the heads of ICE and Customs and Border Protection to testify before his panel in the coming weeks. Last year, the GOP-led Congress infused those agencies with tens of billions of dollars to vastly expand their ranks and their detention capabilities.
And this was not what we see the ISIS was a border patrol agent, and they have every right to go after the bad guys. All of that stuff is true. And as one person said, the police left something out. When you're struggling with someone who's combative and find a weapon, you never assume any of those things. But I think we can recognize in this situation, right, no matter what anybody says about whose fault was it or wasn't it, he's got every right to carry a gun. He does. He's got concealed carry, has every right to carry a gun there. He wasn't. The way that she and Bovino made it seem like is they came out and the guy was just pointing the gun ready to just take people out, which you guys all know is a bunch of baloney. Everybody knows it is. It is coming across where, first of all, the left is already a bunch of lunatics, right, who overdo it, blowing their whistles and being insane. Whatever happened to just your bad drum circles? Whatever happened to that? But you put yourself in a position where it's affecting your poll numbers. And Trump recognizes that. He recognizes he needs to get some stuff done and start to turn some stuff around. We have a history of moving from point A to point B, no matter how good you're doing for the most part. In the powers that be, who's ever in power, you know what? You guys are in power. You got the whole thing. Maybe we're going to even it out a little bit, and we'll give them the House. And there's a history of that. But you start putting this stuff in there, people are frustrated, and they're looking around going, we got to be better. We do. And I said today, and this isn't about Trump. This is about, I think, the people that he has put in this position, and Kash Patel and all these guys coming out, well, you shouldn't be able to go and bring a weapon. No, you have every right to carry a weapon. Am I wrong? Is that a no? You absolutely have your Second Amendment right to carry a weapon. So do I think that this is going to, I think that cooler, calmer heads are going to prevail in this situation because of the PR. The PR isn't good, and Trump recognized that. He was pissed because he knows who's that land on. Lands on him. He looks around. He's got Bondi, who's just flailed at her job tremendously. You've got, I call her Immigration Barbie or whatever you want to call her. I don't think she's been great at all. I don't. You're calling this guy a domestic terrorist. You know nothing about this guy. Nothing about this. Nothing. And he's got a right to protest. These are things that our men and women fought and died for, is we got liberty, we have freedom, we have the right to protest in this country. Should you attack a cop? No. But to say that he brandished a weapon or came at them with he had a 9mm handgun and they made it seem like he was just running down the street shooting. And that's not true. Now think of the average voter who doesn't pay attention like you, who doesn't listen or watch politics all day long, who hasn't chosen their side and their side can do no wrong ever, and I'm always going to vote that way. They're going to go, I don't know if I like this. I don't. I'm feeling like I'm not liking this. And so that comes down on the president because what happens? He loses seats. And do I think he's going to lose some seats? I think we recognize he's probably going to lose the House. The Senate is what he needs to worry about. And I don't know if he's going to lose the Senate, but what happens is, and you've got to get into a position where you feel like, okay, you know what? I'm doing what I said I was going to do. I've surrounded myself with good people, and they're handling their business. They are.
Republican Congressman Thomas Massey posting, carrying a firearm is not a death sentence. It's a constitutionally protected God-given right. The NRA even speaking out, posting, responsible public voices should be awaiting a full investigation, not making generalizations and demonizing law-abiding citizens.
And remember, Trump has a small, tiny lead in the House. A very small lead in the House. And because of that, there is a worry. Oh, you know what? If you start pissing some of these people off, maybe they don't get on your side. You only need to lose 2 or 3, and it's over as far as the House goes. So I think he recognizes that. And I think he also recognizes you can't, carry, you shouldn't be carrying a gun. You shouldn't be doing, all the things that they were saying that really juxtapose a lot of what we believe in our Second Amendment right, and our right to protest. I want the Republicans to win, but I don't want them to do something so ridiculous where it catches up to them. Luckily, they're going up against Democrats, which usually is their saving grace, because if they were going up against a party that wasn't absolutely insane, they'd have a much tougher time. But as we always talk about here, never, ever stop your opponent from screwing up. If they're beating themselves, let them beat themselves. So we'll see what takes place. We'll see how much is going to happen in the coming days, how much is going to change. I think there's going to be some, and I think Tom Homan coming out is going to crack the whip a little bit. That includes the guys on the ground and how they're going to be handling themselves going forward. So we'll see. We'll see. A lot of stuff still to get to, including, yes, it's cold outside. Ken's going to have the latest. We're dealing with the technical problems. Our man, I see him in there. He's pushing buttons. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's trying to land the plane, Bell. So if you hear just me and Ken and I are talking, then, that's because we're trying to line everything up, and it's been kind of sideways. So we're working on that. We're trying to get that handled. We got a lot of other stuff to get to today. Some fun, some more serious, because there's some serious stuff going on out there. Iran, what's happening with that? Those numbers that we talked about a week or two ago of being 5,000, well, now those numbers are coming clear, and those numbers are nowhere near that. And now we're moving our boats back over there, and they're starting to cancel, like certain airspace is a no-go. So it isn't if, but when, but what does it even look like? We'll talk about that. Among other things, this is the Chad Benson Show. Ken will have the latest, the weather coming up in a little bit. Boys, that's what he says. Meanwhile,
Ye has taken out a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal, apologizing for a string of anti-Semitic comments he's made in recent years. The hip-hop artist, who legally changed his name from Kanye West in 2021, says he is not a Nazi or an anti-Semite, adding, "I love Jewish people." The ad goes on to say that Ye is mortified by his actions and is now committed to accountability, treatment, and meaningful change. Ye says his bipolar disorder, which was left undiagnosed, was behind the controversial behavior.
We all saw the bipolar behavior. I'm surprised nobody else did. Oh, wait, I'm sure everybody did. I'm sure everybody saw his bipolar behavior. And you know what? I said all this. The sad thing about watching a human being like him meltdown, or anybody meltdown, is it's a meltdown in front of the world. Now, you're watching Britney Spears meltdown. It's sad because she's melting down in front of the world. You watch any of these people, like even Ye, they're melting down. He's melting down in front of the world. And you think about his kids, right? His kids live in L.A. I don't know if you're aware of this. Chances are the school they go to probably has a few kids who are Jewish. And probably has other famous people. And it's got to be a tough thing for them. But he wrote it's some interesting stuff. He's like, I'm totally sorry. I was crazy. I was loony. That whole thing with the Nazi shirt. Woo. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. But as he's saying this, right, and was it like a month ago, he goes to these rabbis, and he meets with these rabbis and talks to them and apologizes. Then it was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, he's hanging out with Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, and all these guys. And if you know anything about Nick Fuentes, I mean, he is kind of an anti-Semite. Just throwing that out there. Just a smidge. Just a smidge indeed. So we're working to get everything back up and running. We think we get it, getting close. Can you hear me, Ken? Can you hear me, Ken? I'm not quite sure if Ken can hear us. Maybe not. Maybe he can. Maybe he can't hear us, but he just doesn't come through. I don't know. But we're working on it. Do I have to do the news? Because, I'm not very good at it, but I'll try. Make Bell do the news. Just, it's crazy. So, like, again, we're trying to feed everything through the board. So, like, some of you are like, hey, I hear this or I hear that. It's technology. And again, we're trying to run everything a certain way so you guys can hear all of us as we deliver stuff. And earlier, you guys could hear me, but you couldn't hear Ken on the YouTube. And we tried to fix that. And now trying to reroute stuff it's a bit of a situation. That's what we're trying to say. So we're working on getting that there. Several of you have chimed in, Sandra, about I said, look, we need an investigation, this whole thing, this shooting. And it can't be the feds, and it shouldn't be the local cops. We need an independent investigation done on this. It's that simple. We need an independent investigation done. At some point, when are we just going to bring AI in that's going to be like oracles that have no feeling, or if you will, for lack of a better term, no skin in the game, and have an investigation in this? So, but no, I don't think the Fed should be allowed to grade their own paper on this one. Let me know what you think. Tweet at us, text the program, all the stuff going on. Hour number 2 straight ahead. More on, obviously, the power outages. We got traffic issues. We've got cold weather still here. A bunch of other stuff straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.